Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy coming at you with another fragrance review. If you follow my channel, you know that I am taking a look at the Amouage Discovery Collection for Man. Indeed, I have a few of these, and in this episode I am taking a look at Bracken Man. This is Bracken Man, there it is. And you can see I have just a little bit left. Oftentimes I wear these for one day, maybe two, but I have been wearing this all week long, and that's probably going to let the cat out of the bag on whether or not I like it. So you only see I have just enough for this review left, and I have worn it the entire week. I have been counting down the days to get to this review because this is a fantastic release. This is a 2016 aromatic fougere, and I'm going to take a look at the description and the notes, but I can tell you now that in the end, what really matters to me is how this is blended. I'm going to have to take a look who the perfumier is because this is simply outstanding. So let's take a look at the description. Bracken Man. Bracken for Man evokes a subtle and enigmatic masculinity. This elegant fougere is inspired and named after bracken, one of the oldest and most resilient ferns in history. Okay? Unveiling an aromatic freshness, the fragrance begins with vibrant top notes of, and it's either lavandin or lavendin. It looks like lavender, but it's IN after that. Nutmeg and clove. With the spectrum of light caressing the woods, both lemon and bergamot open this fragrance by blanketing a sensation of brightness over wet earth. Geranium, cinnamon, cedarwood, and sandalwood come together to seduce the earthy character of musk and patchouli in the base, an aura of which lends a retro touch to this distinguished fragrance. You know, I must tell you that, first of all, Amouage must pay somebody a lot of money just to simply sit down and give these descriptions. They are quite poetic. Now, that said, this really does live up to the description. The thing that really jumps out to me is the idea of distinguished and retro. And I would like to say that, I'm looking over here, so for those of you who kind of like the 70s, these are fougères, and so this gives, when you think of the 70s, you think of oak moss. And when you think of oak moss, you think of kind of a barbershop sense, but also with this woody, very green character. Okay, and that is what Bracken Man is. When they say retro, it's perfect because this is for people who really like the 70s oak moss fragrances, the barbershop, the green, but do not want something that is dated. This is retro, but this is certainly not dated. This is a contemporary look at a fougere, and this is not just well done, simply outstanding. You know, it just goes to show you that you shouldn't read too much into all of the reviews online or videos for that matter, and you should check them out for yourself. I had heard not so good things about Bracken Man, and it just so happened that it came with this discovery set, and I wouldn't probably have chosen this as a sample, and I'm so glad that I did because I can talk about the notes, which I will, but in the end, it's all about the combination of them, the blending of them, and it is simply spectacular. Okay, so I looked up some of the notes, and I just read them, of course. It's funny because when you look online, people talk about this as cloves, right? This is a clove fragrance. I really don't see this as a clove, especially, you know, I have Costume National pour homme. If you want a clove based fragrance, wow, this is the king or queen of that. This to me is not a clove dominant. In fact, when you go to Fragrantica and you look at the different notes and they show you which one is more prominent, there are actually 3 or 4 notes that are quite prominent, and I would say that, you know, here's what I get. I get some geranium. I definitely get lavender I get lemon, and I get sandalwood. And that is why the kind of, when they talk about earthy qualities, patchouli, not so much for me. I really get some lemon. It really is kind of a very, I say this in the best possible way. This is a green scent that pays homage to barber shop scents. Normally, I'm not a big fan of those. That is kind of synonymous with me with old manish. But this one is a very expensive shaving cream, and I say that in the best possible way. So when you look at the notes, take that with a grain of salt, because in the end, really is the combination of them that does it. Okay, so let's move on. Oftentimes when I talk about Amouage fragrances, I say you could wear this in any season. But I will say, and that is true, but I will say that this one does stand out to me as a spring fragrance. This is very fresh, and I really appreciate this at any time. But I personally would definitely see this as possibly my favorite, actually, but a spring-based fragrance. Like many of you, I'm not so much of the seasons, but this one. If we're in 0-degree weather, if it's in very, very cold out, I don't know that I would reach for this. I see this as spring, and I would throw in fall. Now, in terms of age for Bracken Man, because it's a fougere, I have a feeling that people are going to say this is more of a mature scent. That said, it is so well done, it almost transcends age. I think what's going to happen, though, is 30 and up, and possibly, let's just say 40. This is a 40 and up scent, really, in terms of the price point for Amouage, of course. This isn't really a high schooler scent, and I doubt that you would see this on a college student. But again, it's so fantastic that there's no reason why you couldn't. This is a 40 and up fragrance, in my opinion. It is a more mature, and I like in the description, by the way, I like when they say distinguished, and indeed is, and it certainly fits that description. Okay, so in terms of masculine and feminine, these fragrances, of course, are for man, but there's nothing really here that's stopping a woman from wearing this. On the continuum, I do see this as more traditionally masculine, without the shadow of a doubt. This really does evoke a sensation of a man leaving a barber shop, but I say that again in the best possible way. So on the continuum, this definitely veers slightly to masculine, but not all the way full on. So a woman could pull this off quite easily. So let's look at longevity and projections, because this is a little bit different for me. This is, I got two from the ladies in the house. I got unsolicited from both of them. I got unsolicited comments on this. And that is when I thought that I could not smell it anymore. So I have to tell you that I guess my longevity might not be the most reliable. And every once in a while, some of you guys have commented that in these samples, obviously the sprayer is different than it would be if it were, a normal bottle. So I will give it that. I thought for me the longevity was 6 to 8 and really closer to 6. That said, people commented that indeed they could smell it, well after 6. So maybe I still think we should split the difference and say 6 to 8. This is a work shift for me. This is 6 to 8, no more. But I did see a lot of people saying online, wow, lasted for days, et cetera, be careful with the trigger, all that. I certainly didn't get that, but you guys can help me out here. Maybe it's just because it was the sample. So I'm going to keep longevity. We're going to put an asterisk next to longevity, but we're going to say 6 to 8 hours. And with regard to projection, this one, I would imagine that this would be very, very popular for women on men. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times women will like something that of course smells good, that goes without saying, but one that kind of invites someone to get closer, not the ones that clear out a room. And so this one for projection is just perfect because it's actually, especially for an Amouage, it's actually very soft. I usually say within an arm's length. I'd almost say within an elbow's length. This one certainly is the invites you in type, and it would be absolutely perfect for the office as well as a date night. There is nothing to suggest formality here. This one just smells off the charts. So projection, I think, is almost perfect. I would have liked a little bit more, but it is subtle. It is soft. It invites you to come closer, and just a home run for Amouage. Very well done with projection and longevity. Again, with a little asterisk there. I'm curious to see what you guys say about Bracken Man for you. Okay, so for my overall rating for this fragrance, Bracken Man is a 4 out of 5 sprays, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is clearly 5 out of 5. If I'm only talking the scent itself, 5 out of 5, home run by this house. However, I still have doubts for me on longevity, and I'm going to give this a 4, but I will add the caveat that if I get a bottle and I absolutely get a lot of mileage out of that, then I reserve the right to come back here and change it to 5 out of 5. So it's for now 4 out of 5, only because I feel like I should dock it a point for a longevity. But for the price point, come on guys, I mean, if we're talking $200 at least through the discounters, at least $200 for a 3.4 100 milliliters bottle, it should last all day. And so however, if I do get the bottle and it does last a lot and it was just because of the sample, I reserve the right to come back and add it a 5 out of 5. All right, here we go. Ready? Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting to, I barely have enough. And I'm going to reserve the 5th one just in case I come back and change my review for you. So there you go. Ready? Just because I love you guys, I'm going to give you a spray of this so you can just spend the rest of your day smelling fantastic. Here we go. Boom. Perfect. Okay, there you have it. Another review by the boards. This one was Bracken Man, and it was 4 out of 5 sprays, possibly 5 out of 5. And I'd like to end with talking a little bit about my channel. So as you know, in the previous episode, I had a giveaway for this one, Interlude Man. This is the Blue Beast, and I went to commentpicker.com and I went to get my randomly chosen person comment, and it goes to Jam Session Sound S. Congratulations, you win the Blue Beast, my friend. Happy holidays to you, and I will be sending that out. So here's what I want you to do. I will leave a comment today reminding you, telling you where to go to my email, and you can send me your snail mail mailing address, and I will get that out to you soon. If I do not receive a response from you by November 28th, which is Thursday, after that I will give it to the next person in line. So please contact me, let me know your address, and I will get that out to you. Congratulations on the Blue Beast. In fact, I don't even need to say happy holidays to you because I know they will be. All right, congratulations. So in this episode, I am also doing a giveaway, and that is Epic Man. What a beautiful, gorgeous bottle. Among other things, besides the fragrance, I just love the bottle so much. Oh wow! Epic Man has already been reviewed. Check out my review there if you'd like. And this is the giveaway for this episode. So in this episode, to get Epic Man, you need to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and then in this particular comment, I want you to just say one thing that you particularly like about the channel and one thing that you'd like to see me improve on, and that would be great. I appreciate that. So just 2 this time. And I just really appreciate all of the feedback that you guys have given me. We are climbing up the ladder on subscribers, and I couldn't be happier. So, Epic Man is the next one in line for the giveaway. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and remember that it is only open to those in the Continental U.S. And there's nothing left for me to do but to say, always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care. It's time for a closer look. In a closer look, I wanted to take a look at the word fougere. So Fougere, and oftentimes we throw this term around, and for Bracken Man, it's an aromatic fougere. So what does a fougere mean? Fougere comes from French, and it means fern. So we are looking at fern-like smells, which is why, obviously, bracken is a big fern, so it makes sense that it is a fougere. But when I first got into fragrances, they would throw out this term fougere, and I just didn't know exactly what that meant. So it means fern in French. And I looked at some of the notes that are commonly associated with it, but I think the main thing is to think of a green fragrance. Oftentimes that will be a fougere, not always though. Geranium, lavender, vetiver, bergamot, and the big one for me from the 70s is oak moss. So Bracken Man is a spectacular fougere. Sometimes they have a little bit of a bad name because of a bad rap, because of the dated smell. So when you think of the 1970s and even early 80s, early though, you really think of oak moss. And so get out the gold chains and the hairy chests, and then break out some disco, okay? Because really that's what you're looking at. And I wanted to show you this one because if Bracken Man is way, way, way out of your price range, you might want to check out, I got this, I think it was either Target or, well, I know it was either Target.com or Walmart.com. Pretty sure it was Walmart. And I got this. This is a 6.7 ounce bottle, if I'm not mistaken. This thing is huge, okay? I mean, look, okay, it almost covers up my entire face. This thing is mammoth, and you can see how much I've gone through. Not so much. This is my second bottle, though. This thing is ultra cheap, and it just goes to show you that spending more does not get you more compliments, because this is actually one of my biggest compliment getters. No joke, perhaps because of my age. Halston Z14 is the name. This is Halston Z14. Halston oftentimes uses letters and numbers. I don't know what's going on there. But you should consider this. If you're looking to get into a fougere, this one certainly is dated, though, I will say that. It does have a very dad / grandpa kind of older man smell. That said, though, it's rugged. And so I really like this one. It's my second bottle, and I get a lot of compliments on this one. It is a cheapie. Seriously, this was less than $30 for me for a 6.7 ounce. That's 200 milliliters. That's crazy. But I always keep this in my collection, and it's an ultra cheapie, but wow, you do get compliments on it. I really like it. It's toned down, by the way. If you have not worn this for a long time, it's not the same Z14 that it used to be. Almost for the better, actually, because this thing is oak moss, and it used to just completely clear out a room to the point that it was like in your nostrils, and you could just smell it if someone was wearing this from miles away. That's no longer the case. It's certainly been toned down. That's an example, I guess, of a reformulation that's almost better, to be honest with you. And I wanted to point out what fougere exactly means.